So I just wanted to share something with you today, which for me has been a bit of a boyhood dream, really. I grew up watching sort of Grizzly Adams and films like Jeremiah Johnson and that. Just always fantasized about having a little cabin, and cooking on a wood burner, all that sort of thing. And I've camped out for years, but I finally got myself a little cabin. So I'm just going to take you through and give you a quick look round. So this is the cabin. We've had a bit of snow last night and freezing temperatures, but it's nice and bright today. So basically, it's a bit of a fancy shed, really. It's actually in the company's summer house range. It's called The Lodge. It's a company in the UK called MCD Sheds. So I've put it where the old polytunnel was, with enough room to get round it and treat it and maintain it. It's made from Scandinavian slow-grown timber, so not the sort of, in the UK, a lot of the timber's quite fast-grown, the grain's really wide. This is slow-grown Scandinavian timber, and it's all pressure-treated and guaranteed for 10 years. But they do recommend coating it with, like a decking oil, like a natural oil, just to keep the wood sort of UV stable and stuff. Let me just zoom out a bit. There you go. So I went for this one. It's called The Lodge because I just loved the idea of having this veranda on the front. I'm going to be sitting out here on my rocking chair with a pipe. But no, I mean, this, like I say, for me, it's a bit of a dream come true, and I wanted to have it as near to sort of what I was thinking of as possible. So I've got this little veranda on the front. Basically, it's a 20 by 10 foot wide, 20 foot long. 4 foot of that is the veranda. And then I paid for a couple of extras, which are opening windows, which I think are going to be important for when I've got the wood burner going, especially if it's not too cold. I think it could get a bit warm in there. And paid for a stable door, so I can just have the top open for extra ventilation. So it's not tongue and groove. I think they call it log lap. So it goes up behind in a groove of the panel, so the rain runs off. It comes all fully lined. The sides are all lined with like a damp-proof membrane. And the top, I don't know if I'll be able to show you now. Let me just hold the camera. When it's very cold and you get a lot of wet, you will get moisture form on the tin because it's a tin roof. So this membrane here on the roof is designed to wick away that moisture. So if I touch it, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little bit of moisture, a few drips. You see it's just getting a bit moist there. So the idea of this is that obviously you can see where the daylight is. You've got the profile of the roof. So you're going to have a draft going up under the tin, and that will wick away any moisture that is on this membrane, and that just stops any drips coming into the shed, because if you have a tin roof, you will get drips into the shed. I get it on all my other buildings, and it can be a bit of a pain if I've got mowers and things in there. So that's quite handy. The eaves are about, well, I'm 5'7", and I can stand right to the edge here without my head touching the roof. So they're probably about 5'8" to the eaves, and a nice high centre point there. I've got a little gas heater in here at the moment because it's obviously just a blank canvas. I only had it put in just before Christmas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insulate it, but I have spent most of my pennies just getting the shed. I wanted to go for the biggest one I could afford, so that does leave me with a limited budget to fit it out. So the idea is I'm gonna insulate the roof with like that aluminium foil bubble wrap that you can get. I'll staple that in between the joists, and that will just provide a layer that is waterproof, so that any dampness on this membrane won't affect it. And I think, I'm not 100%, but I think I'm just going to sheet the roof with probably 9mm exterior ply. And then the size, because I want it to look sort of a bit like a cabin, I think I'm going to go with planks. I found a couple of companies that do gravel boards fairly cheap. So I'm just trying to think the internal dimensions of this is actually, obviously, because all the framing is 3" by 1.5 inches, 1.75 something like that. It's all heavy duty framing. So the actual, once I've sheeted it, the internal measurements are going to be about 6 inches smaller. So this is 16 by 10. I think it's actually about 15.5 by 9.5. So if I get some 4.8 meter gravel boards, that should do one complete side in each length. So I'll just plank that all the way up to the top and then do the ends and obviously all the sides and around the door and windows. So there's only windows at that end. I just sort of wanted to keep it, you know, not, I mean, in theory I could have had a window here to let a bit more light in, but I think it's going to be enough, and it will keep it a bit warmer, not having things that are leaking air too much. Yeah, so this is the inside. Like I say, it's all heavy duty, pressure treated, guaranteed for 10 years, but I will keep it treated every couple of years anyway, and hopefully it'll last a lot longer. So Milo's already found one of his favourite spots. I put this little table and chairs here. Milo, you're taking up all the camera. Come here. He likes to sit up on here so that he can look around. But so obviously I've still got a lot to do. Come here, mate. I've still got a lot to do here. I've got to insulate it and sheet it and plank it. I'm installing my Winterwell Nomad Large stove in here. So I've already bought the silicone kit to vent it out the roof. Bit daunting having to cut into my nice new cabin's roof, but it's got to be done. So I'm going to fit that stove in here, and for that I've got the water tank attachment so I can boil my water. And for Christmas I got the pipe oven that goes within the chimney, so the heat from the fire goes around the box and heats it, and you basically got an oven you can cook in. So it's not a massive oven, but it's fine for a couple of people. So that's going to be fitted. And then it's just sort of getting bits and bobs, shelves. So I've got an old dresser unit. It was the first ever dresser that we bought for our house, and we're having a bit of a change up. I'm doing a bit of a food prep and storage and preservation area in the dining room. So we're going to be getting rid of this solid pine dresser. So I might actually bring that down here and just have that for storing a few bits of food and, you know, various things for cooking and that down here. Make a little kitchen area and that sort of thing. So I will do videos on everything I do, insulating it and fitting the stove and all that sort of thing. You know, a bit of a project for the next few months. But yeah, finally got my little cabin down at Smallholding. I'm well chuffed. But anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. Happy New Year to everyone. Take it easy.